In this video, we're putting jugs made by Gatorade, Under Armor, Igloo, and the Thermos company head to head to see who makes the best thermos for sporting events, beach trips, or whatever outside activity you need to keep your water cold. And somewhat surprisingly, the quality and efficiency difference between some of these jugs was quite remarkable, so before spending your money on a random water jug, watch this. The first experiment we were going to do is to see which jug kept the liquid the coldest and the longest. The first thing I did was to put the same amount of ice cubes in each jug, and then I filled them with cold tap water. I let them all sit for a few minutes, and then I simultaneously took the temperatures of the water in all the jugs. You can see here at the beginning of the experiment, the water in the Under Armor jug was 52 degrees. Next in line was the Gatorade at 55 degrees. Then we have the Igloo at 53 degrees. And the Thermos bottle was 50 degrees. With all the temperatures recorded, the next step was to take all the water bottles out into the hot sun. And this experiment was recorded in about the middle of August in July, and you can see the temperature outside was 89 degrees. With that experiment ongoing, let me show you the results of the other experiments that we did. We measured the weight of each jug, put them all through some leak susceptibility testing, and just some general functionality and design testing. You can see here we put each one on the scale. All of the weights were pretty close to each other, but the clear winner was the Igloo, coming in at just a hair over 25 ounces. But keep in mind, if you've got kids wearing backpacks full of sporting equipment, and who knows how long they're having to travel from the car to the sporting event, or if you're taking this to the beach, how long it takes you to walk from the hotel to the actual beach and set up camp, you really want these things to be as light as possible, as long as they don't leak. And I'll get to that in a minute. The next test I performed was the susceptibility to leakage. Somewhat surprisingly, as soon as I set up all the bottles, the Igloo began to leak water instantly. It was so quick from the start of the experiment, I actually just thought I got the top of the bottle real wet. I dried it off, started again, and it instantly began leaking. The clasp mechanism on the Igloo seems unnecessarily complicated, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in the design and functionality coming up. Shortly after I noticed the Igloo was leaking, the Under Armor was next. I was kind of surprised at that, as it has a pretty secure mechanism, but as you can clearly see, it began to leak when it was put on its side. The Thermos bottle never leaked, and nor did the Gatorade bottle. I was pretty surprised the Gatorade bottle didn't leak because, as you can see, it has the least complicated closing mechanism. It just pops shut. There's no security clasp like the Thermos and other jugs in the competition. However, it appears to not be necessary because it never leaked. So the winner in this category, the Thermos and the Gatorade bottle. So at this point, I had let 2 hours pass since the beginning of the experiment. It was time to bring them in and test the results. So while my daughter sets up for the finale of the experiment and records the temperatures, let's talk about some of the design flaws in several of these jugs. The first thing you'll notice is most of the jugs have free swinging handles, except the Under Armor. It is fixed in place, and that really isn't that big of a deal, but let me show you two key differences and why that's important to know before you buy one of these thermoses. Here you can see we have the Under Armor jug. Not only does the handle swing freely, you'll notice the hooks that are designed to hang on a fence are wide apart. Contrast that with the Under Armor. Whoever designed this handle clearly had the world's smallest hands. Not only is the handle fixed, which really isn't the worst thing in the world, the fence hooks are so close when you hold this, it digs into the palm of your hand. It doesn't feel good, which means you're going to have to hold it from the side, and because we know it's already prone to leaking, that's not a good combination. Now getting back to the Igloo jug, we talked about the handle is much better for holding. However, we already know it leaks, and it's got this weird locking mechanism in place so you can't open your water bottle if the position here is locked, which I guess is necessary, but I'm not 100% certain why. Is accidentally pressing the open button that prevalent? I guess it is. It's there if you need it, but again, what good's a water bottle if it's going to leak? Plus, when you open it, if the handle is up, it hits the handle, you go to drink it, and it closes back in on itself. The Thermos jug, on the other hand, not only does it not leak, it has a simple closure and a little safety mechanism right in front. In addition, the handle goes clearly over the mechanism here, so you're not going to hit yourself with the mechanism if you bring it up and accidentally bring the handle up. Alright, it's time to talk about the grand finale. You'll see here I have the initial temperature recordings on the left-hand side, and I've got the temperature probe simultaneously taking the readings of all 4 jugs at this moment. You can see here the water temperature of the Under Armor thermos went up 4 degrees, the water temperature of the Igloo went up a whopping 7 degrees, the water temperature of the Gatorade bottle went up 3 degrees, and now finally, to announce the overall winner of the competition, the water temperature in the Thermos jug only went up 1 degree. So in the end, it's not the lightest jug, but it's got the best design, it doesn't leak, and I think we have proven today that it will keep your water colder longer than all the other jugs that we've tested. I hope this video was helpful. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next time.